in the ancient kingdom of Solaria, where towering libraries held the wisdom of forgotten eras and scholars traveled from distant lands to study under the empire's greatest teachers, there lived a young man named Kale, whose heart burned with the desire to achieve success, but whose mind often wandered between doubt and determination. And each morning he walked through the marble hall of memories, where statues of legendary rulers, warriors, philosophers, and inventors stood carved in stone, their silent presence reminding him that greatness was never born in an instant, but forged through consistent habits, disciplined actions, and the unwavering strength of one's mindset. One day, Kale approached the oldest historian in the kingdom, Master Orin, a man with silver hair and eyes that seemed to hold the stories of 1,000 lifetimes. And with sincere confusion, Kale asked why some individuals rose to greatness, while others with similar talent faded quietly into the shadows of time. And Master Orin smiled gently before sharing a tale from the age of the first dynasty about a powerful general who commanded armies larger than entire villages, yet lost battle after battle because his mind was clouded by fear, pride, and impulsive decisions. And after suffering defeat for the third time, the general traveled to a remote monastery seeking wisdom from an elderly monk known only as the Listener, who taught him that before a man can conquer the world, he must first conquer his thoughts, for a mind filled with chaos will always create a life filled with confusion. The monk instructed the general to begin each morning in silence, focusing on clarity, intention, and humility. And though the general initially resisted, believing strength came only through weapons and strategy, he eventually surrendered to the lesson, learning to train his mind daily until he returned to battle not with anger but with calm precision, leading to victories that transformed him into one of history's most respected commanders. And as Kale listened with fascination, Master Orin continued unfolding another tale of wisdom, this time about an ordinary potter who lived in a modest village many centuries before Solaria rose to power. And though the potter owned nothing but clay, a wheel, and a simple kiln, his creations were admired across kingdoms because of a daily routine he never abandoned. Each morning before shaping a single bowl, he spent hours preparing his tools, warming his hands, and centering his mind, believing firmly that a distracted craftsman produces fragile work, but a focused mind produces masterpieces. And soon, even nobles sought his pottery not because it was decorated with gold, but because it embodied the patience, discipline, and devotion he cultivated each day. Inspired, Kale began to see a pattern in every story, the shepherd who became a legendary protector because he spent every sunrise strengthening his fences and training his dogs, the scribe who became the empire's chief advisor because he practiced writing affirmations of purpose every morning, the queen who ruled with unmatched wisdom because she began each day reading lessons from the ancestors, and he realized that history did not celebrate those who waited for luck, opportunity, or perfect circumstances, but those who built their mindsets daily with intention and courage, turning small actions into lifelong habits that shaped destiny itself. Master Orin then shared a powerful story of an ancient city surrounded by mountains where winters were brutally harsh, and the only man who survived the coldest season was a blacksmith who prepared months in advance by forging tools, gathering firewood, and strengthening his home. And when asked how he endured every year while others perished, the blacksmith responded, "Success is never about waiting for an easy season. It is about preparing your mind and actions long before the storm arrives." And Kale understood that success was not a prize given randomly, but a result crafted through daily discipline, consistency, and belief. Fueled by these lessons, Cale started his own journey of transformation, waking up before sunrise, each morning to set intentions, practice gratitude, reflect on his goals, and train both his body and mind, replacing old habits of delay with new habits of discipline. And even though progress felt slow at first, within months, people around him noticed a stronger presence in his voice, a clearer sense of purpose in his actions, and a confidence that seemed grounded in something deeper than ambition, something ancient and unshakable. Master Oren encouraged him to continue by reminding him that the greatest leaders of history, from kings who united nations to explorers who crossed unknown seas, were not defined by talent alone, but by the strength of the mindset they guarded each day. And Cale embraced this wisdom wholeheartedly, eventually becoming a guide for others, just as Oren had been. For him, sharing stories of ancient heroes and forgotten teachers with travelers, students, merchants, and villagers who sought direction in their own lives, teaching them that every sunrise offered a choice: to repeat yesterday's habits or to rise with a disciplined and courageous mind ready to build a better future. And as Cale's influence grew, he stood one evening before a gathering of villagers beneath the glowing lanterns of Solaria's central square and delivered the message that had shaped his destiny, telling them that success is not a single event, but a daily practice, not a reward handed to the lucky, but a journey walked by those who prepare their thoughts, shape their habits, and honor their purpose each day, for history belongs not to those who merely dream, but to those who discipline their minds to pursue those dreams consistently. And so the story ends with timeless wisdom that echoes across generations. Your mindset is the foundation upon which your entire life is built, and the small actions you repeat every day, your gratitude, your focus, your discipline, your courage, and your belief are the true architects of your destiny. And if you rise each morning determined to strengthen your mind and refine your habits, success will follow you just as it followed the ancient heroes of old. And if this story inspired you, and you want more daily mindset tips for success, more historical wisdom, and more motivational guidance to fuel your journey, then make sure to subscribe and continue walking the path of growth, strength, and unstoppable purpose.